Another nice early start this morning. Up before the crack of dawn to head down the Mornington Peninsula. Now you'll notice in the next few vlogs that I'm putting together, I'll be coming back to basics. I'll be visiting a lot more local spots, and just back to what started me into the journey of landscape photography, into the love of it, especially living around Port Phillip Bay in Victoria. Now what that was getting down to the beach and just visiting these jetties at the crack of dawn, watch a gorgeous sunset just at some time during the day. It's something I've avoided for the last probably year. I've just got a little bit sick of it. It sounds a bit harsh. Just a bit repetitive, shooting the same thing. So I'm going to start just visiting more of them and just trying to soak up the lifestyle from down here as well. Just trying to enjoy what it is about this region that we absolutely love. And that is just the pristine beaches and the gorgeous spots you can find around here, and witnessing stunning sunrises like this. First composition before we have a quick look around. By the time I actually rocked up in the car park, there was a fair bit of colour in the sky, so I've set up pretty quickly. Now the composition I'm going for is not directly up the pier, that's my next shot. What I'm going is I'm probably about 3-4 metres to the side of the pier, just with the pier entering the frame on the left, straight to the middle, probably just over, probably towards the third line on the right hand side of the frame. Just a simple composition. But with the amount of light I've got at the moment, it's allowed me to run a 30-second exposure, which is smoothing that water out absolutely perfectly. And we're still getting a lot of colour from that sky, which I'm absolutely stoked with. Now I'm running a Nisi circular polarizer as well as the 3-stop graduated neutral density filter, just to, because basically the sky straight ahead of the frame is reasonably dark still, but I'm getting a lot of colour and it's getting very bright to the right. So I've got the graduated filter on about a 45-degree slope to cut the light down on the right hand side of the frame. Now at the moment I'm running f11 30-second exposure at ISO 100. Gets you all excited, doesn't it? What I'm liking about this is that light coming from the sky is not just providing awesome colour on the cloud, but what it's also doing is providing an awesome side lighting to this jetty. Yeah, I love that. That is some beautiful colour in there. Next up will be a composition straight up the middle of the jetty. It's just something that must be done. And then after that, before the sun comes up completely, I'm going to start having a look around the area. I've got some gorgeous boats over on the beach here, and there's just a few rocks and stuff. So I'm going to have a look around just for a different composition to try and bring in this awesome lighting from this morning as well. So let's see what we can find.
Wish that I could stay, wish for this moment to never go away, but it's all in my mind.
Well, I'm just setting up for the composition straight up the middle of the pier. Now, settings, that sun is really brightening up the daylight now, so settings have dropped to 8-second exposure at f11, ISO 50 this time. I just want to keep the exposures as long as possible, just to take out as much texture of that water. 8 seconds. It's smoothing it out, but still retaining a little bit of motion in there. Just a little bit of sort of, you can see a few ripples. As simple as that. That's got a lot of colour in it. Now I've just got to straighten up the camera now. What I'm looking for in this composition is I've got the camera as close to the symmetrical centre of this jetty as possible, having it point as straight as possible, just so all the planks in the jetty are horizontal in the image. I don't want any angles. So what I'm going for is pure symmetry in this, as symmetrical as I can, with this heap of colour that's coming through this morning. So let's see how this comes out. The sky is so bright. I've just knocked the graduated neutral density down a little bit, and I'm dropping the exposure to 5 seconds now. I was just getting a few blowouts on the sky. It changes so quick, it's so hard to get your exposures spot on, exposure after exposure. Wow, yes. I'm actually really liking the 5 second exposure. That's allowing 1 or 2 little waves to be seen. Just a little bit of whitewash on the top of the waves. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Now what I really want to do is a vertical composition too of this same angle. It's stunning. I'm running the exact same settings for the vertical. It didn't take long to adjust it around and get it symmetrical. So 5 seconds, f11, ISO 50 with the circular polarizer on and the graduated neutral density. Sorry about the good old head tilt. So I'm just going to go have a quick look around the beach now, so let's grab the gear and see what we can find.
You're a beautiful sight in the summer night, and you can't put up a fight in the misty light.
Now, I found another composition here that just seems to be working really well, as the sun's about to poke up over the mountains of the peninsula, which is right behind the jetty. The jetty's in the right hand side of the frame, the sun's rising right behind it. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm starting to get some nice light on the boats out in the water, just a nice reflection from that stunning sunlight this morning. Now this composition is literally on the edge of the car park. I'm standing a couple metres away from the camera because it is starting to get windy again, so I'm just taking shelter so you don't have to put up with wind noise like in my last video. That sun is it's casting some gorgeous rays at the moment. So at the moment I'm running about a quarter of a second exposure, f11, ISO 100. I think based on the amount of light that's coming through now, I'm probably going to have to drop that down even further, probably almost to 1/10 of a second. Let me just quickly duck out and run this shot now. That wind is really starting to pick up out there, so I've taken refuge in the car to get out of it and avoid a little bit of wind noise for you. Well, the colour's gone. The high clouds come over and it's just a very grey sky now. There's a tiny bit of yellow and orange just on the horizon line, but the sun's above that line now anyway, so the gorgeous light of the morning has passed as far as the stunning colours go. But as I said, I'm back in the car, so I'm just going to go for a drive just up the road, just have a look around a couple of the other jetties. I mean, if I don't take any images, it doesn't really matter. It's absolutely awesome out here this morning, so just going to go down, have a look, and I might even grab a coffee on the way back, and yeah, just take it easy this morning, I guess. Colours this morning, they were spectacular. Just I love the way the high cloud lights up like that, and I was lucky that I checked the cloud predictions last night. It gave me a little bit of motivation to get out of bed bright and early this morning to see that. There's something special about coming out to the beach when before the sun rises to witness something like that. There's absolutely no one around. I'm just sitting here with not a person in sight for a couple of kilometres up the beach, enjoying a coffee and just listening to the waves crashing onto the shore. It is good for the soul, I think. It's very peaceful. So as I mentioned, I will be starting to do a few more local shoots, and I'm probably going to concentrate more on jetties and piers and stuff on the bayside beaches as opposed to the oceanside beaches. It's where I started my journey into seascapes. I think I felt it was a lot safer on the bayside as opposed to the ocean side. So I'm going to go back to what started me into it and just try and renew that love for it. So until then, I'm just going to sit here, enjoy a coffee, listening to these waves crashing for a little bit longer. So thanks for coming on this trip, guys, and I'll catch you around. Cheers.